So welcome students in today video tutorial on the topic Hardy-Weinberg's law. This law is also known as the Hardy-Weinberg principle or the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So before going into the detail of the topic, we will first understand the meaning of some terms which will be used in our video lecture. So first is the Mendelian population. So population, it is the group of the individuals belonging to the particular species inhabiting a particular area and capable of inbreeding. And these population are termed as the Mendelian population by the Sewell Wright. And the population is having characterized by the two main features: random mating and equal survival of all the genotypes. So the random mating means the no preference for a specific genotype by an individual for the mating purpose. Suppose if there are the individual with different genotypes for brown, yellow or the black color, the individual with brown genotype can mate with the yellow or the brown, and all the individuals, they are equally fit, means all are having the equal chances of transferring or passing their the gene fraction to the next generation. So there is no undue advantage to any genotype. And now the other term is the gene pool. It is the sum total of all the genes of all the individuals belonging to a particular species. So gene pool also describes the pattern of distribution and proportion of different kinds of gene in the Mendelian population. Suppose if we take the example of the gene governing the seed shape character. So gene pool not only describe the totality of the individual carrying that particular gene in the individuals, but also how the alleles of that gene are distributed among the individuals and in which proportion. Okay. Another is the allelic frequency and the genotype frequency. Allelic frequency is the proportion of an allele. Suppose we take P in the gene pool as compared to other allele Q at the same locus, or the vice versa. And genotype frequency is the total number of kind of individuals from a population, all of which exhibit the similar character with respect to the locus under the consideration. So we can understand these frequencies with an example. Suppose in a room there are 100 individuals having 100 cards, and out of those 100 cards, 30 cards are having a letter capital A, and 70 cards are having small letter a. So that number represent the allelic frequency. Okay. 34, suppose if it is 34 capital A, then the frequency is 30%. If it is 74 capital A, then frequency is 70%. Now how many individuals are having two cards of same letter, either it could be both capital A, or it could be both small a, or it could be one capital A or with one small a card. Okay, so how many individuals are having both capital A cards represent the genotype frequency. Similarly, the individuals with both small a represent that particular genotypic frequency, and the individuals having one card with one capital letter A and one with small a represent that genotypic frequency. Okay, so how many are having homozygous capital, how many are having homozygous recessive, and how many are having heterozygous type card represent the genotypic frequency. Next is the population genetic. It is the study of the frequency of the gene and genotype in a Mendelian population, or it could be defined as the study of the distribution and changes of the allele frequency or the genotypic frequency in a population. And the study of population genetic is essential to understand how the evolution take place in a population, and how the species get adapted to this changing environment. So now we will take up the Hardy-Weinberg law. So this is the fundamental law, provides the basis for studying the Mendelian population. Okay, and it was given by the two scientists, Hardy and Weinberg, in 1908. So this law was given in context of the population of diploid and sexually reproducing individual. Okay, so only those individuals which are diploid and reproduce sexually will follow this Hardy-Weinberg law. And this law describes a theoretic situation in which a population is undergoing no evolutionary changes. So again, it describes only those populations that are not evolving. So the definition of the Hardy-Weinberg law is: until there is selection, migration, mutation, or random drift. So these all together represent the evolutionary forces. So until there is evolutionary forces, the alleles and genotypic frequency remain constant in a population generation after generation. कि जब तक किसी पॉपुलेशन में डिस्टर्बेंस नहीं होती, ओके, किसी भी कारण से, चाहे वो सिलेक्शन है, माइग्रेशन है, म्यूटेशन है और रैंडम ड्रिफ्ट है, जो फ्रीक्वेंसी एलील और जीनोटाइप की है किसी पॉपुलेशन में, दैट विल रिमेन कांस्टेंट जनरेशन आफ्टर जनरेशन. So any population will follow Hardy-Weinberg law if the given assumption are hold true for that population. These two assumptions I have described earlier. Because this Hardy-Weinberg law is applicable to diploid organisms who are sexually reproducing, but some organisms may be polyploid or haploid, For them, there are the other version of Hardy-Weinberg's law. The another assumption is the infinite size of the population. Okay, if the population is small, it will be more susceptible to the random changes in it. Okay, and if the population is small, there are more chances of the sampling error in it, more chances of the genetic drift in it. Okay, another assumption, there should not be any natural selection, that no population should be selected either in the way of directional selection or stabilizing selection. Okay, all the population, all the individual in the population must be equally fit. They must have equal chance to reproduce and pass on their gene fraction to the next generation. Another assumption is there should not be no mutation. So mutation result in the addition of the new allele, but we know that the rate of mutation is very slow in nature, so it will rarely affect the allelic frequency of the population, but it provides the basis for the natural selection, which may have the larger effect on the change in the equilibrium. Then another assumption is no migration, means there should not be any gene flow either outside the population or inside the population. Okay, if there is the outflow of the genes due to the emigration, and the emigration is frequent, then it will result in the variation in the frequency of the allele or the genotype. Then the random mating. So for a population to follow the Hardy-Weinberg law, the mating should be random. If it is non-random mating, like inbreeding, it will result in the decrease in the heterozygosity or decrease in the heterozygous genotype and increase in the homozygous. Okay, so allelic frequency will not change, but the genotypic frequency will be affected. Okay, so in nutshell, a population will follow the Hardy-Weinberg law only if all the assumptions, these assumptions are held true. So now we will understand the Hardy-Weinberg law with the help of the example. कि Hardy-Weinberg law ने क्या कहा कि the allele and genotypic frequency remain constant generation after generation if there is no selection, migration, genetic drift, है ना. So we take a panmictic population. Panmictic population is the population which shows the random mating. Okay, in panmictic population there are genes, okay, capital A and small a on one locus. Let us assume the proportion of the different genes in a population. So out of the 100 individuals in a population, there are the 36% individuals are homozygous dominant 16% are homozygous recessive and 48% are heterozygous in their genotype proportion. So the frequency of the gametes produced by these individuals will be equal to the frequency of the genes. Okay, they are carrying. So the homozygous dominant individual will produce 36% gamete because its proportion is 36% in a population. Homozygous recessive individual will produce 16% gamete as its proportion in a population is 16%, and the heterozygous individual will produce 48% gametes based on its proportion. But the gametes produced by the heterozygous individual will contain 24% capital A type and 24% with small a types. So from this table, the output of gametes can be summarized. So the parents with 36% homozygous dominant genotype will produce the 36% gamete with this capital A allele. So gametes can be egg or sperm. The 16% parents with homozygous recessive will produce 16% gamete with small a allele. Okay. Similarly, the 48% parents with heterozygous genotype will produce two type of gametes. Percentage will be 48% जो वो produce करेंगे, but 24% will be of capital A type and 24% will be of small a type, because during gamete formation the each gamete contain the allele that is pure. Okay, if it is heterozygous capital A small a, one will contain capital A, another gamete will contain small a. So 48% will divide it into 24% and 24%. If we sum up all these frequency of all these gametes, means frequency of gametes with capital A allele, it comes out to be 60%, and frequency of the gametes with small a, it comes out to be 40%. Okay, so if we sum up these frequency 60% capital A, 40% A, it will come out to be 100%. Okay, and if these gametes then unite randomly to produce the zygote and giving rise to the individual in next generation, what will happen? Here from table, for homozygote dominant individual or genotype, the gametes with capital A, they will come together. Similarly, to produce the individual with homozygous recessive genotype, the sperm with small a and egg with small a, they will come together. And for producing the heterozygous genotype in an individual, there are two ways by which heterozygous are formed. Either the sperm with capital A allele will unite with the egg with small a allele, or the sperm with small a allele will unite with the capital A allele. Okay, and the summation of these two heterozygote will give rise to the total genotypic frequency, which come out to be 48%. So if we compare the genotypic frequency in this generation with the genotypic frequency of the previous generation, it remain same. Okay, so it hold the Hardy-Weinberg laws true. So this is the way how the allelic frequency could be calculated. So out of 100 gametes, 60% are having A allele and 40% are having A allele, or you can write it like that: 60% means 60 divided by 100 means 0.6, and for small a 40%, 40 divided by 100, it come out to be 0.4. If we sum up, it comes out to be 1, or the 100%. And if we know the frequency of one allele, then the frequency of other allele could be calculated by the formula 1 minus the frequency of the given allele. So if the frequency of the alleles is represented by small p and small q letter, and there is the random union between the gametes at equilibrium state, okay, then the genotypic frequency, it comes out to be p square plus 2pq plus q square. So we can see here at the Punnett square, there are the male gametes, female gametes with their frequencies given, and there are the random mating between the gametes, and after random mating, the result comes out to be like this. Okay, so this term could be written like this. Okay, and at equilibrium, this is equal to the 1 or the constant. So this genotypic frequency p square plus 2pq plus q square, this relation is known as the Hardy-Weinberg formula of binomial expression, and it could be explained on the basis of the theory of probability. So if the frequency of the both alleles is equal in male and female gametes, then the probability of receiving the gene A, capital A, from both the parent will be equal to the product of the frequency of that particular allele. Here the frequency of allele A represented by P, and it is coming from the egg, and this is coming from the sperm. So the probability of receiving gene A in the zygote will be the P square. Similarly, for small a, it will be Q square, and for heterozygous, it will be 2pq. Why we have added this pq plus pq? Because the heterozygous are formed in two different ways, which I have explained earlier. And as per Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, the sum total of the genotypic frequencies remain constant in a generation. So p square plus 2pq plus q square, this is the genotypic frequency, it should remain constant. And this term p square plus 2pq plus q square, it is the binomial expansion of this term p plus q square. So this Hardy-Weinberg formula can be written in two ways, one this and other this way. So in exams, if you are given the genotypic frequency, we can calculate the allelic frequency. Suppose this is the example. There are 100 individuals with genotypic frequency, that is the homozygous dominant 36%, homozygous recessive are having 16%, and heterozygous are having 48%. मीन्स कि 100 इंडिविजुअल में से 36 जो हैं दे आर होमोजाइगस डोमिनेंट टाइप, 16 आर होमोजाइगस रिसेसिव टाइप और 48 आर हेटेरोजाइगस टाइप. So if we have to calculate the allelic frequency of A, okay, it could be calculated by this formula: P square plus half of 2PQ divided by the number of alleles in the population. Okay, so if there are 100 individuals with their respective genotypic frequency, the number of allele will be the double. Okay, because this pair homozygous dominant having two alleles AA but represent one genotype having two alleles. Okay, one genotype having two alleles. If 36 genotype, there are 72 alleles. Similarly, homozygous recessive genotype having 16 individuals but allele should be 32. Heterozygous AA, this is the genotype, 48%, but if allele we see double, that is 96. So total there are 200 alleles. So by putting their values, this is the P square 36 plus half of 2PQ means heterozygous, 48 का हाफ किया 24 divided by total number of alleles. 100 individuals हैं तो 200 alleles, it comes out to be 0.6. Similarly for small a we can calculate, if we sum up this P plus Q, it again come out to be 1. Or if you add this genotype frequency, if we add this genotype, it comes out to be the 100, or you can say 1 constant. Okay, so if there are three alleles A1, A2 and A3 with frequency P, Q and R, then the genotypic frequency would be calculated by this multinomial expansion. P plus Q plus R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus R square plus 2PQ plus 2PR plus 2QR. So this is the example given by the blood group with the three alleles. So it is noted that the sum of all the allelic frequencies and of all the genotypic frequency must always be 1. Okay, if there are two alleles P and Q, then the frequency should be 1 for P plus Q. If there are three alleles P, Q and R, then frequency will be 1 for P plus Q plus R, and similar for their genotypic frequency. So Hardy-Weinberg law clearly state that all the genotypes in a population reproduce equally and successfully, and for evolution to occur the population should not follow Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. And not only the gene frequencies but also genotype frequencies of different alleles in a population remain constant, and a population which is in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium does not show evolution. So these are the applications of Hardy-Weinberg law. On this basis, sometimes the questions appear in the exam. So the Hardy-Weinberg law can be used to calculate the frequency of the dominant phenotypes if the recessive phenotype, if the frequency of the recessive phenotype is given. Okay, so this is the one example. Here the frequency of recessive phenotype is 0.25. We have to calculate the frequency of dominant phenotype. So we can write this homozygous recessive phenotype as q square, because q is the frequency we consider for this allele A. There are two alleles, so it is q square, and when square is removed, this undergo the square root of 0.25, which comes out to be 0.50. Now you are given the allelic frequency of this small a. You can calculate the allelic frequency for capital A by subtracting the value of q from the 1. It comes out to be 0.5. Now A is 0.5 allele, but if we would calculate the frequency of the genotype, it comes out to be A square, or you can say P square, which is 0.25. Okay, now if we would like to calculate the frequency of this dominant heterozygous, then we can calculate by 2pq, which comes out to be 0.50. So in this way we can solve the numerical problems. So it is also used to calculate the frequency of the harmful recessive alleles, and if whether whether it is heterozygous carrier, or it is the affected individual, okay, or it is the normal. So you can calculate. Similarly, for calculating the gene frequencies in case of sex-linked loci in male and female, this Hardy-Weinberg law can be applied. So you can do the exercise now yourself. Hope you must have understand the basic concept of Hardy-Weinberg law. Thank you.